Good morning, everybody. I am Tim Hollenden. Welcome to the Tim Hollenden Show. And let me introduce my guest today, Mr. Gary Jordan, a dear friend of mine out in the Colorado Springs area. Good morning, Gary, and thank you so much for being here this morning.
Hey, good morning, Tim. Glad to be here.
Yeah, I appreciate you making time for me. How's your weather out there today? Is it cold?
It's typical Colorado weather, blue skies and bright sunshine, and probably about 35 degrees.
I liked all of that until the 35 degrees.
All right, we're blessed with good weather out here.
Yeah. I'm in my Gulf Shores, Alabama home today. It's 67 and cloudy. So 67 and sunny obviously would be a lot better, but I can't complain. I do not like the cold, especially throughout the November, December, January timeframe. Come from Louisville, Kentucky. January is gray and gloom and doom, I think. And it's kind of depressing, actually. But enough about that. Again, Gary, welcome. Thanks again for being here. Let's start out. Why don't you just talk a little bit about yourself personally, then get into your real estate career and sort of talk about your journey.
Okay, Tim, be happy to. Well, I started off being born and raised on a Texas cattle ranch in a small town, USA, in the Austin area. I was a third generation ranching family. I knew I was going to be a cowboy the rest of my life. I got my advanced education as far as formal education from Texas A&M University, agriculture education degree. Went back to the ranching occupation for the next 17 years. I was a full-time cattle rancher, rodeo cowboy, living the dream in Texas. And I was so good at it, I tell everybody, it took me 17 years to go broke, but I got it done. And I was kind of blessed. It was a slow burn, but kind of blessing in disguise. It's a great lifestyle, but it was a tough business. So many things out of your control. That can make things go bad in a heartbeat.
Yeah.
So that really led me toward a different career. I had a good friend, a mentor of mine, who was in the financial services and insurance business. That when I was broke and couldn't afford to pay attention, I called him and said, "Man, I know you're doing well. I want to hear what you're doing. And if it's legal, I'd like to maybe consider doing it with you." So he took me by the hand. He was a great mentor. And for the next almost 10 years, I was in the financial services industry. I built my own company. I've always been an entrepreneur. So I was a financial advisor and insurance, mutual funds, stocks and bonds, and so forth. Great education. Been around a lot of really smart people. And after a number of years, though, it just I had an opportunity to go away from that again and get back to the basics again for various reasons. I ended up hanging up all my suit and ties and put my jeans and boots and cowboy hat back on. I bought a ranch in the mountains of Colorado, and for the next decade plus, I was what they call an outfitter. Outdoor recreation business. We took people on guided trips in the mountains, hunting, fishing.
Okay.
Just any packed trips in the backcountry. Great lifestyle again.
Sounds like a fun time there.
More about the lifestyle than it was about the business opportunity, but still it was a good chapter of my life. I had a lot of great experiences, and I got a lot of great campfire stories to tell because of that.
I bet.
2009, I made a decision to get in the real estate business. I always knew it was a good business, but never was the right time for me to consider real estate. I had other things going on that were more, I might say, more fun. And so, anyway, I got in 2009 the real estate. And I wonder what the noise was. Everybody going the opposite direction. Everybody's getting out of the business at the same time.
Exactly.
I didn't know any better. But
that's a good thing.
I learned some hard lessons those first few years. I started off with a small boutique agency, brokerage, a good old boy, a good friend of mine who had no systems whatsoever, no support whatsoever, just key to the door was really all I got.
Yeah.
And so I really floundered the first few years because the economy was bad too. That's the middle of that first big recession. Everybody's upside down with the housing market. People couldn't get qualified for loans. It was just a a rough gig. So the first few years, yes, it was a tough deal. I was wondering what in the hell I was doing in this business.
Yeah.
But I ended up, after about 4 years, hooking up with a big national brand, Remax.
Mm-hmm.
Had a great experience there, a good company. I was Remax for a little over 6 years. And around some good producers, I got exposed to some good systems. One in particular that really fit my personality was the Buffini and Company working by referral system.
Mm-hmm.
And I plugged into that system and haven't looked back. It's been a great run since then because it's working by referral. You pick and choose who you work with. And
Right.
typically, if you have good clients who you like working with and if they know, like, and trust you, people that they know, they refer to you are typically similar to them too. So it's been a real good fit.
Yeah, I
So
bet.
exactly.
Have you kind of steered towards farm and ranch real estate because of your background, or was that just sort of or have you just focused on just about anything?
I focus mostly on residential. I
Okay.
think that's, from my standpoint, it's the best opportunity for various reasons.
Right.
There's a lot more transactions, a lot more coupons to clip, a lot more people to help, and so
Yep.
forth. And
A
so
little
I focus
quicker
on
sale too, probably.
exactly.
Mm-hmm. Okay.
And people are always going to be buying and selling homes, no matter how the market is. There's always, reasons why people want to buy, reasons why they want to sell.
Absolutely. Tell us a little bit more about Buffini. I know you're a class facilitator. I mean, you've probably been through this 1,000 times, so apologize for the repetition. But for our listeners out there, what can you do as a facilitator for somebody that's maybe new in the business or wanting to try something a little bit differently?
Well, a great question, Tim. The key thing I know and I believe is the fact that there are a lot of good systems out there that can create success in real estate. Buffini and Company is one of those systems that has been around for 20 plus years. I think it's probably the largest real estate training and coaching company in the North America, working by referral. And this particular system just teaches you that you have to go out and put the rubber against the road, be out there making contacts, be visible, stay in touch with your sphere of influence on a regular basis. Make your phone calls every day, just touching base, providing some items of value, stopping by and saying hello, just staying in touch on a regular basis, always giving, not expecting to receive, and you'll have great success. And the key thing too is always reminding your clients and your sphere of influence that you do work by referral, and explain to them the benefits to them by working with somebody like myself who works by referral.
Mm-hmm.
Benefits such as, annual home evaluation reports that are kind of complimentary. Benefits like I have a very, very large database resource of professional service providers, vendors, the handyman, the carpet man, the drywall person, the electrician, the plumbers, the dentists, the doctors, the lawyers, and so forth.
Right.
Relationships I've built and developed over the years that I'm more than happy and willing to share with my people if they need a certain type of person to provide a service for them. And
Yeah.
I do a lot of referral business for my professional community, as well as to and for my sphere of influence. This is just one of the ways to add value on a regular basis.
Yeah, and that's a ton of value. All of us are always looking for quality contractors, vendors, suppliers, you name it. And obviously they wouldn't be on your list if you didn't trust them. So,
well, the thing about it too is I'll add to is, Tim, that's having professional service provider relationships is real important. They're always typically spheres of influence. They have their own database of clients and so forth.
Yeah.
And when I get a call from a client of mine, a Johnny over here who needs a handyman. Well, I don't just tell Johnny about handyman over here, handyman Joe. I'll ask Johnny what's his needs, what's going on, what kind of services does he need, And then I will call handyman Joe.
Hmm.
And I'll tell Joe, I've got a client, Johnny over here, who needs this done and so forth. Can you get it done? What's your timeline and so forth? And then I tell him, I'm going to introduce you to my client. Then I'm gonna call my client and tell him I've talked to handyman Joe. He's expecting you to call. He can do this for you, such and such time. And so I'm reaching out, providing value to my handyman. I'm providing him a referral. I'm providing some value to my client. I'm providing him a referral to a good handyman I have a relationship with. Put them together, and then I'll tell them both. I'm gonna circle back around in about 30 days, see how it went.
Yep.
And so it gives me a reason to contact them again. And then you reach out like
that.
this and contact on a regular basis, always with somebody's benefit in mind. It does create good vibes in your community. And if you always remind them, both the handyman and your client, that you work by referral and really appreciate, as I always say, Tim, if you know anyone who's of similar quality to yourself, who has any kind of real estate needs, whether it's buying or selling or home evaluation or just access to my resources, I'd really appreciate, and I'm never too busy for your referrals. Is that a deal? And so it works. It does.
So it's more than a referral. You're really facilitating that entire relationship of those other two people. And I imagine the service providers on your list are probably good clients too, because they know you're in the business because you're talking about it with them constantly.
Well, they're good sources of business, good sources of referrals too, sure. Yeah. And it just takes time to develop those relationships, but it also takes time to develop those relationships too, and provide that consistent value to them on a regular basis. And that's all part of the working by referral. If you're reaching out and providing value, not just asking for business, but providing value to them on a regular basis, and reminding them as you finish your conversation that, by the way, Tim, I work by referral. If you know anybody, they'll remember you sometimes.
Yep, absolutely. Awesome. Anything else about your Buffini experience you'd like to share before I move on to our next set of questions?
I would just say this: if you're in real estate, whether you're new or whether you're a 20-year veteran, if you're looking for a system that really will add jet fuel to your business, this is one system that really does work very, very well. If it fits your personality, great. But I'd recommend checking it out. It doesn't cost a thing to check it out. And but it's just so important that you do work a system, and you have a good CRM system too, a customer relationship management system too, that you can monitor your activity to having success. Treat real estate like a business. It is a business. And you got to show up for work every day and monitor your activities and make sure you're doing the kind of things that are productive, not spending half your time on Facebook and social media and doing other things, checking on sports and scores and those stuff. Be guilty of it, guilty as charged. Well, I can tell you, those things don't make you any money.
Yeah. What's the best system? The one you use, right?
Exactly, the one you use. And no matter how good the system is, you've got to work the system.
Absolutely. Well, I appreciate you sharing. I've never known a whole lot about Buffini, honestly, and this is no Buffini commercial, obviously, but I appreciate you sharing your wisdom in that regard. Let's move back to your real estate career specifically. You started out at a boutique firm. You went to RE/MAX. You were there 6 years. And was there a step between RE/MAX and EXP, or did you come straight to EXP from RE/MAX?
There was one step during the depths of the last, housing burst and the recession. I did work for a big national builder for 1 year.
Okay.
Here in Colorado, and another great experience too. Learned a lot about the new build side of the business. And I wasn't the best employee. I'm a better boss than an employee.
Most of us entrepreneurs are not good employees.
Exactly. So it wasn't really the ideal fit. It was a great experience. I learned a lot of good things, but I was ready to get back out, calling my own shots, creating my own opportunity as fast as I could. So one year, a full year there, valuable experience, but that was you might say, my bridge between the small boutique floundering agency starting off, going to Remax.
Okay. And you've been at EXP now how many years?
3 years this last September.
Okay. And was there a problem or issue that you had with your prior firms that you felt EXP solved?
Well, I have nothing negative at all to say about my prior firm with Remax. The broker was a great guy, I mean, a friend of mine today. But there was an issue. There was a roadblock that me as an entrepreneur kept bumping into that made me take the time to look at another opportunity, even though I was happy where I was. And that was having my own business. I could have my own traditional team there, but I saw every year in this particular brokerage, there's about 100 plus agents. Every year I saw some of the big teams, the big team leaders who were very successful, who were a very big, important part of that business, all of a sudden turn their keys in, go out the back door with their entire team, and all of a sudden hang up their own shingle across the street and become direct competition.
Right.
I felt bad for my broker, losing quality groups like this, not a single person, but a group of people every year.
Yeah.
And
a
I knew
percentage of your business.
Substantial.
Yeah.
So that was a concern. I wanted to have my own business, but I wasn't really confident in the opportunity of going out and buying a franchise and then going through all the expenses of setting up a traditional bricks and mortar brokerage, whether it be a franchise or independent. I was still very, very sensitive to the liability, having my own business and having things out of my control can go wrong. Because I lost a good business one time, lost a very good business one time because an employee made some mistakes and it trickled up to the top. And it took the whole business down over a period of years. So I was sensitive to that. When I was first approached about this real estate model called EXP, I'd never heard of it before. I wasn't looking for anything. I was happy.
Right.
But I was approached by a professional that I was respected in the community who asked me for a favor, just take a look at this and give her my professional opinion. I said, I'm not going anywhere. I'm happy where I've got about 6 deals under contract right now. I'm busy. But I'll just, as a favor to you and to get you off the phone, I'll look at it and let you think what my professional opinion is. And I was sent an email with a link to a video. And it was a month later before I even opened the email. It wasn't on my priority list, and I was busy, had more important things to do, I thought. But when I did open the email and I took the time to look at this video, it caught my attention. Just created some curiosity. This is something very different. But the more I looked into it, the more it checked all the boxes I was looking for to establish a business of my own and have some great success. So I ended up after about 4 months of doing due diligence and looking for the good, bad, and the ugly. I decided that the good way outweighed the bad. I was willing to go ahead and take the chance of accepting some change, and so I made the change in September 3 years ago.
Any regrets?
Yes, I wish I had heard about it 3 years prior. But I will say this, and this is not blowing EXP smoke because, when I first got involved with it, I was excited about the opportunity and what it provided. But it's actually bigger and better than I ever dreamed it would be. When I started with 18,000 agents. Now there's 86,000 just in 3 years' time.
Yeah.
And there were two things that made me sit up straight in my chair and look at this real seriously. The opportunity to own a piece of the company, the fact that it was traded on the NASDAQ stock exchange, that was real credibility. Formerly a financial advisor, I knew how picky and how hard it is to be a publicly traded on the NASDAQ stock exchange. That created credibility. And then also the opportunity to develop some substantial residual passive income by helping the company grow, by attracting other productive agents, that caught my attention too. Because if you're a broker yourself for any kind of a brand, to make your business successful, you got to go out and find other productive agents to join your organization, join your brokers and so forth. I was able to do those exact same things as a broker and develop passive income without having the liability and all the other, you might say, burdens that a typical independent broker or franchise has.
Right. A lot of expense,
A lot of expense, a lot of liability, a lot of training expectations, and the list goes on and on.
Yeah. So is it fair to say, back to how did the move to EXP solve that particular concern that you had? Is it fair to say that that gave you the ownership of your own business? Is that really what it comes down to, that entrepreneurial spirit we talked about before? I don't want to put words in your mouth, but is that?
That's okay. Yeah. Yes, it does. I'll say that. I'll say this all the time. I have my own business. It's called the Jordan Property Group. And I consider myself as I'm working for myself. I'm working for my family. I don't necessarily work for EXP Realty. I partner with EXP to have access to all their resources and all their systems and all their, powerful benefits to help build my business. And so I think it's just a matter of a lot of common sense. It doesn't require having to go to work for somebody and changing your brand. You keep your same brand. It's all about partnering with a international company that can provide you resources you could not afford to have on your own, to provide for your other agents, as well as resources to help you do a better job of providing the services to your clients.
Yeah, absolutely. And to put an exclamation on that sentence, I was a RE/MAX broker owner, and there's no way in the world as a broker owner myself that I could have given my agents all the resources that you and I have available to us today, yet alone compensate them as many as 8 different ways, including ownership and retirement income. And I came to EXP because I didn't want to unlock doors until I was 80 years old, because most agents, we have a hard enough time saving for our quarterly estimate taxes, yet alone saving for retirement. And EXP sort of paved that road, not just from the stock wealth standpoint and accumulation of NASDAQ traded stock, but from the residual income. So that was sort of my why. Is that similar to your thinking as well?
No question about it. The retirement was a big deal too. I'm not at the beginning of my career. I'm kind of in the fourth quarter of my career right now. Well, I'll say this. I'll say this, Tim. In just the last 3 years, focusing mostly on real estate production, I've done some agent attraction activities also. I've attracted some good producers to the company. And as a result of that, my monthly compensation from EXP for helping them grow equates to about the same thing. If I've been out there working, selling real estate, pay my taxes on my commissions, and set aside over $700,000 of money in an investment, earning a 4% return.
Wow, that's awesome.
So just think about that. It's difficult to set aside $700,000 after taxes for your retirement. Sometimes it takes a lifetime. Sometimes it takes more than a lifetime. But to be able to generate monthly income that equates to the same thing as selling all those houses, paying all those taxes, unlocking all those doors, and all that hamster wheel turning in 24/7. It's a no-brainer. I'm very excited about the opportunity. It does work, even though I know that only about 10% of the agents with EXP do any agent attraction. That's fantastic. That's why it's such a big opportunity for me and for you.
Yeah. Well, and it goes to say it's a phenomenal real estate company when the other 90% are not attracting agents. They're here because they love all the services and systems and training and technology and ways to earn income that the company provides us.
Exactly right. And they love the idea of having some ownership in the company too,
Yep.
not just being an employee.
Clearly. Is there anything, any time in your career that you ever felt stuck in your real estate business?
Well, for sure, I felt stuck for sure in my first few years, middle of the
Mhm.
recession, working for a small agency with no real systems, no real strong training, and so forth. I didn't know where to go. I didn't know how to get it done, and it was a tough gig then, even if you knew where to go and how to get it done. But being a rookie back in those first few years, back in the 2009 2010 time frame, it was really uh, quicksand,
Yeah.
slippery mud. Yeah, we were all stuck
Yeah.
at that point in time.
We make it look
Um,
easier than it really is, don't we?
exactly. And like I said, when I was with Remax, the wanting to have my own business and just not really seeing that crack in the door that really appealed to me of how to have my own business was I was kind of stuck in that spot too. I
Mhm.
was more of a independent, solo agent at that time. Making a good living, making a good strong 6-figure income, but still it was not. I knew that every home I sold, I was unemployed till I sold the next one,
Yeah.
and every year you started over again doing the same thing.
Right.
And the thought of doing that same thing over and over for the next 20 years was not very appealing to me.
It's kind of depressing, isn't it?
So this opportunity that we have right now, I use this old Zig Ziglar proverb over and over many times that you can get anything in life you want if you help enough other people get what they want.
Amen.
That's how it works now. I have
Yes.
people on board who are seasoned agents. Some are fairly new, but my main focus now, besides selling real estate too, is helping my good people have success and help them get what they want.
Mhm. Financial freedom, time freedom, and location freedom, which kind of takes us to the Freedom Team. You and I are part of an organization that I co-founded with my dear friends Jeff Morrell, Sean Sturrock, Eric Golden, Kathy Carter. Talk about the Freedom Team organization and what that means to your real estate business and your agent attraction business, or just business in general.
Well, it's a great asset, Tim. It creates a real personal level of collaboration that is very rare. EXP itself provides a lot of great resources. Over 50 hours per week of live training, maybe over 70 hours now. 1,500 full-time employees working in the cloud and so forth. And that's all wonderful and good. But the Freedom Team zeroes into currently about 3,000 agents, correct me if I'm wrong, who are part of EXP,
Mm-hmm.
who do their own thing also above and beyond what EXP provides. And having on a daily basis uh, Zoom webinars of training, both on training of how to do more transactions, training on how to really maximize your lead generation CRM systems, training on how to effectively uh, approach the agent attraction part of the business opportunity. You meet people all over the world, especially
Mm-hmm.
all over the United States, who you see on a regular basis if they're serious about this business, and you create some great relationships.
Yep.
That's how I met you, Tim, on a
Exactly.
webinar and so
I was,
forth.
I was just going
We've
to say
met,
the same thing.
we've only met in person probably 2 or 3 times at some big events.
Uh-huh.
I consider you a friend. We visit on a regular basis. I got your phone number, I got your email address. I know where you live, and it's great to have friendships like that and relationships like that, not just in your local office, but
Mm-hmm.
around the country and around the world.
Yeah. I
So,
tell people all the time that some of my very best friends I didn't even know prior to EXP. I mean, I have so many great relationships, just very tight knit, close friendships with fellow EXP agents around the globe. It's just been very rewarding in that sense as well.
and I'll say one last thing about the Freedom Team too is I definitely strongly believe that you become like who you're around.
Mm-hmm.
And typically, working in a traditional brokerage, whether it be a big franchise or an independent brokerage, you've got maybe one or two agents in there who are really doing very, very well. Usually, they're not really anxious about sharing all their secrets with you unless you're working for them, unless you're on their team.
Mm-hmm.
With the Freedom Team under the EXP umbrella, I'm talking to and visiting with and seeing face to face some real studs and studettes every day, like yourself, who've been a franchise owner, have been in the business 20 plus years, and sold thousands of homes and so forth. I won't be like Tim when I grow up. So I
Be
want
careful what you wish for.
So people like yourself, tell a story about how to do this or do that. I shut up and listen.
Yeah.
I'll shut up and listen. I encourage my people to plug into the Tim Hollandens also and shut up and listen and get those nuggets and go out and work hard and do what's proven to be successful.
Mm-hmm. Well, thank you for that. I appreciate that testimonial. Let's go back to you were an individual agent. You were a team leader for a while. What'd that look like? I know you're not a team leader anymore. You made a conscious decision, I think, to get out of that. Talk to the person that's thinking of starting a team, what that might look like, and when they maybe shouldn't start a team.
Well, a traditional team is what most real estate companies have under their brokerage. As a team leader, you're going to start recruiting. You're going to start recruiting agents to work for you under your team. And if they work for you under the team, they're typically going to be fairly new or inexperienced agents who need help. They need your mentorship, they need your training, they need your leads and so forth. Mm-hmm. And so your responsibility as a team leader is pretty intense from the standpoint of being there on a regular basis to mentor them and to help them with the contracts and to help them with training and to go to the expense of providing leads for them that will work if they work. And one of the big issues with having a doggone team, guys, unfortunately, is most people in real estate, especially if they're new, don't want to work the amount of time it takes to be successful. Mm-hmm. They don't want to make those. They don't want to contact that new cold lead 7 times. They want to call it one time and then forget about it and wonder why the money's not coming in. So the constant coaching and the constant babysitting and constant replacing agents who don't want to work with those who you hope will work is an ongoing 24/7 hamster wheel by itself. You do leverage yourself, yes, and you'll occasionally find you'll occasionally find a good producer, and that's all well and good, but hang on. That good producer who's having success, get ready. It's not a matter of if, it's a matter of time. And they come up and have that tough conversation. They're going to say, Tim, I really appreciate you and all you've done for me. I'm going to go in business for myself.
Yep.
Adios.
Yep.
All of a sudden, starting all over again. So I've been there and done that. And to have more time for my family and have more time to have a quality life for myself and so forth, I've decided there's a better way. Mm-hmm. And the modern team concept that EXP provides definitely is a better way.
Yeah, absolutely. I still have both. I've got a 7-person team in the Louisville, Kentucky market and love them dearly. But it does take work. It does take oversight. It does take overhead. And people ask me to coach them all the time on growing a team. And the first thing I ask them is, well, how many leads do you have that you can't handle? And when they give me that blank stare, I'm like, you have no business starting a team, because the number one reason a team member wants to join a team is to get more leads. They'll take a lesser split. They can do a whole lot more volume. But people think, okay, I'm an agent. Now I'm going to be a broker, or maybe I'm going to be a team leader, and then I'm going to recruit team members. And it feels like a natural progression that really is not natural at all. Unless you've got an abundance of leads, to our listeners out there that are thinking about starting a team, don't, unless you got more on your plate than you can handle. Or if you want to really slow down and delegate that business to somebody else to help you create some time freedom. We talked about that a little bit. That's important too. But well, I don't want to take too much of your time this morning, Gary. Any kind of closing remarks you would like to leave for our viewers and our listeners today? Anything we haven't
But then
talked about you'd like to get out?
I'll say, wrapping up, I'll say this, that, real estate is a great business. It's a really fantastic business if you treat it like a business and you work the business like it should be worked. We're going through some unsettled times now with the economy. Everybody's using the R word as a recession, and you hear all about the housing market's going to be tough and so forth. People are still going to be buying and selling homes, maybe not quite as aggressively as they were in the past. Home values may be dipping down some compared to what they were last year, but still people are buying and selling homes. I just encourage you, as many realtors listen to all the negative press, are considering getting out of the business. Many are getting out of the business if they're new and not established and they don't work hard. Now's a prime opportunity, a great opportunity to go out there and capture your share of the market if you really go to work. I just encourage you to really work hard now because the market is there. It's there for the taking. As far as EXP is concerned, if you know all about it, great. If you don't really know all about it and you're just curious as to why it's grown from 18,000 to 86,000 in the last 3 years, I just encourage you to take the time just to find out about it and just see if it might be a good fit for you.
Yeah, absolutely. Keep an open mind because you don't know what you don't know. And to all the agents out there, you talked about, people thinking about getting out of the business, and there's tough times right now. I worked through the 07, 08, a little bit of 09 recession. And what I found is if you just double down and use the teachings that you actually talked about earlier in the show today, stay top of mind, call all your past clients, call all your family, your friends, just keep people informed, ask for those referrals, just remind them that you're in the business. The real estate market is like any other business. It's a pendulum, and it swings way this direction when it's great, and it swings way this direction and it's bad, and it's going to keep moving back and forth. And what you want to be is the agent that people remember when the market starts to turn again. And so double down. Do all the free marketing you can do all the video marketing you can do on social media. Everybody preaches about that. I don't think people are taking that seriously enough. I personally think the agent that's not taking video marketing and social media marketing, taking it seriously, they're going to struggle in a few years because it's a dominant medium that the average person has got their face in their phone or on their computer. How many hours a day? I don't even want to guess at that. It'd be scary, I'm sure. But I appreciate your advice. Any last words? And if not, we'll wrap it up, and I'll let you get back to that beautiful Colorado Springs day that you're having.
Well, Tim, I've enjoyed our conversation. You asked a lot of good thought-provoking questions. I just wish you a happy Thanksgiving and a wonderful holiday season. Let's have a killer, fantastic end of 2022 and a great 2023.
Absolutely. Well, happy Thanksgiving to you as well. I enjoy working with you every day, and looking forward to next year.
Okay.
All right. Thanks again for being here, Gary. Have a great one, buddy.